Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Penguin Outdoors YouTube channel. My name is Steve, and as always, I'm your host. Today is Sunday, and you know what that means. It's time for another episode of God and Coffee. Today, we're discussing Proverbs, so stay tuned, and we'll get right into it.
We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
All right, today's verse is Proverbs 27:19. As water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart. Now, you don't know this, but this is actually take two for me. I recorded this once already, and the audio was just so bad and so messed up. I don't know what I was doing. So I'm here with my third cup of coffee, redoing the whole thing, because, y'all, it was bad. As water reflects the face, just like this camera is reflecting mine right now in your bathroom mirror, so one's life reflects the heart. Now, this one's a little personal, because there's a lot of people out there, maybe you're one of them, who uses their internalization kind of like a wall. Let me give you an example. You say something really messed up on social media, or maybe you hurt another person and you feel like you're being judged for it. You might say, well, nobody really understands because they don't know what I'm feeling or what I'm thinking. It's a barrier. It's almost like a justification for your behavior. And you got to get that out of there. Because the reality is, what you feel in here is what you put out. And if what you're putting out isn't what you're feeling in here, well, then I don't know what you're doing. You're doing all kinds of stuff wrong. We are a reflection of how we feel inside. So if you're coming across as a vile, nasty, negative person or saying hateful things, well, then maybe it's time to stop trying to use that "you don't know how I feel inside" as a barrier and do some introspection about how you're actually feeling and get your heart right. Because until your heart's right, none of us are going to perceive you right. Let me give you an example of someone acting on how they feel inside and what that looks like versus the image that they try to put forth on, say, a Sunday. Okay. So a couple weeks ago, somebody who goes to my church, I'm not going to put your name out there. Don't worry. You're probably not watching this anyway. And if you were, you would probably just deny it or try to justify it anyway, because right back to what we're trying to say. So a few weeks ago, somebody who goes to my church pulls out in front of me in their truck. Now, when I say they pulled out in front of me, I mean they pulled out right in front of me. I locked up my brakes, had to go into the other lane. It's not like they pulled out in front of me and hit the gas. I mean, they pulled out right in front of my car and just, they never saw me. That's what it comes down to. So I lock up the brakes. I go in the other lane. I get back in my lane. So this all happens in a split second. So now I'm behind them. I'm pretty close to them, but I'm back in my lane before the oncoming traffic gets there because somebody was coming. And in that millisecond that this all happens, my brain finally gets to start to process it. And this guy looks in his rearview mirror, sees that I'm right behind him. What's he do? He locks up his brakes. He brake checks me and like really commits to it. I mean, he locks the brakes up. So now I'm locking my brake up again. So this all happens in a matter of seconds. So now I almost hit him again. I managed to not hit him for a second time, which, you know what? I'm a good driver. This guy then flips me off. And I mean, when I say he flips me off, he sticks his hand out the window, throws the middle finger up, and waves it around. He wants to make sure that I see it. This is a man who goes to my church. This is someone who, on a Sunday, sits in the pews, acts godly as can be, sings along, smiles, would have everybody in there perceive him as just a godly, good, pure person. He would never act this way where any of those people could see him. Well, guess what? They couldn't see you, but I was there, and more importantly, God was there. And as he's turned into his driveway, he sticks his head out the window, yells "F you," and flips me the finger again. This is somebody who goes to my church. So that kind of circles us back around. To me, the way that he acts is a reflection of what he's got going on inside. So instead of getting angry at him, I mean, I put it on Facebook, not with his name, but I said, hey, so this just happened. Because you know what? I got to vent it. and venting to my 8-year-old isn't going to get it done. I don't want the church to know who it was, but I definitely wanted them to know that somebody did it, because then that circles around and then he knows that he pulled out in front of somebody from the church. Maybe he realizes like, oh, I need to pump the brakes. But instead of blaming him and focusing on what he's got going on inside, that's not my problem. That's between him and God. All I did was take a deep breath and realize that the way I act and feel in here is the way it comes out here and how others perceive me. And I chose to just brush it off. Now, you can tell by my face, it still irritates me. Of course it does. I mean, I'm human. We're all human. But you got to take a deep breath and remember that what you do out here is a reflection of in here. So if you act like a not good person or a negative, vile person, you can't just say, well, you guys don't know how I feel inside, so whatever. That's just your own justification for your hateful, negative way of living. It doesn't mean anything. It's falsehood. You put forth how you feel inside. So if when I say that makes you a negative person, a vile person, if you feel hurt inside because that's the way you're acting, well, guess what? It's time to make a change. Because if the shoe fits it, lace it up and wear it. When you look in the mirror in the morning, talking to you ladies, no, I'm just kidding because I'm pretty vain too. When you look in the mirror in the morning and you're doing your makeup, your hair, or whatever, there's no way you're walking out of the house if you think the way that you look isn't a good reflection on you. If you care that much about your vanity, your facial appearance, why wouldn't you care how your soul and your heart appears to the rest of us? Some of y'all need to check yourself, because 2020's been hard, but you know what? That's not an excuse. The election is an excuse. The politics are an excuse. Racism is an excuse. None of this stuff is an excuse for how you carry yourself to the rest of the world. So get yourself right, check yourself, get right with him, and start putting forth a better image. Because so one's life reflects the heart. Well, guys, that's today's message. I'm all fired up now. I told that truck story and I got all fired up. So I'm gonna check myself and probably not finish this third cup of coffee. Third cup of coffee. I don't think I need it. I'm like, wow. So I hope you guys enjoyed this message. I hope that you can somehow apply it to your life and maybe do some introspection. I know that I'm going to. Please leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the little notification bell so that you find out when new content is available. We'll be posting another episode of God and Coffee on Wednesday, and we upload new content to the rest of our channel all the time. We've got all kinds of great content. We've got fishing, hiking, do-it-yourself, so be sure to check that out. Don't forget to throw me a like down below, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. God bless.